Would you believe me if I told you that the person that chooses to start a skilled trades company over pursuing a 4-year college degree will most likely go on to make 4 to 5 times more money over a 10-year period compared to the person that chooses to go and get that 4-year college degree? In this video, I'm going to break down the whole thing in a few simple charts. If you're a skeptic, I encourage you to remain a skeptic until the end of the video and just let the data speak for itself. If you're anything like me, you're probably going to arrive at the same conclusion I did after seeing all the data. Any way you look at it, college is basically becoming preposterous. This idea of spending 4 years of your life, maybe even longer, and all the money invested to go and do this just doesn't make sense anymore. The promised land may just very well be in starting a business in the skilled trades. And that's coming from a guy who owns a $1 million marketing agency that does web development work and social media and stuff like that. And I've got a sandblasting and painting company, which is currently scaling towards $10 million in annual revenue. And I can tell you right now, guys, the blue collar work is where all the profits are. And you don't have to deal with the issues like AI and disruption that white collar industries are currently facing today. Also, if you're new to the channel, my name is Adam Zwingler, and this channel is dedicated to helping people start a business, start with an idea, scale it to $10 million in annual revenue over a decade. And this channel is equipping people to give them all of the different videos and all of the different things that they need to do in order to get there over a 10-year period. So if that's of interest to you and learning how to do that is of interest to you, consider liking and subscribing. Okay, let's pull up the first chart, which is the college education career path chart. Okay, this basically is tracking what it looks like for a college educated person to go through university and then go on and do their career. And it just takes a look at a snapshot of what their life would look like over the 10 years between starting their education and getting into the workforce. So the first thing I want you to notice is at the top where it says business revenue, there is a bunch of zeros across all the years. And the reason why there's a bunch of zeros is because college doesn't train you to become a business owner. If you choose college and you choose to go down that route, you are choosing to become an employee. You are choosing to work for somebody else. You are not choosing to become your own boss. And so when you get out of college, you will most likely find a job working for somebody else, and you will not have business revenue for the entire 10 years that we're talking about here. Also, in years 1 through 4, you can see that the average student loan debt that you take on a yearly basis is roughly $30,000 if you go to school out of state. So $30,000 a year over the course of 4 years, you're going to rack up about $120,000 in debt. Now, some people might be able to do it on less. Some people might have to do more, but the average is about $120,000 in debt. After the 4 years of college education, you get out and you go into the workforce. And typically that first year, you are just looking for a job. You're probably interning. And my hope is that you're probably getting somewhat of a small paid internship. And so I said that in that first year after you get out of college, you will probably make about $20,000 because you're not going to work the entire year. Most likely you're going to be job hunting and you might be doing an internship for some of that. And so that first year, your income is going to be relatively low. But let's assume that after that internship and after that first year of just trying to figure out what you're going to do after you get out of college, then you get a good paying job or a decent paying job and they start paying you $50,000 a year. At $50,000 a year, which is a fairly reasonable amount, that I would say that a lot of college students, when they get out 22, 23 years old, whatever age they are, they will be making roughly 50 grand a year. And I've even seen those numbers come in a little bit lower, but let's just go with 50 grand a year. And then we're going to assume that you're going to get a $10,000 raise every single year for the next 5 years. Okay. And in year 10, I'm even being generous and I'm saying, hey, let's just assume that this person has stayed with the same company year after year after year, and they're going to get a $20,000 raise at the end of these 5-6 years that they've been working for this company. Okay. Does that seem reasonable? I'd be curious to hear in the comments if you think that this scenario seems reasonable. I know that I went to college and my life kind of trajected in this direction until I changed and became a business owner. Okay. So that is what 10 years looks like if you chart a path and decide that you are going to pursue a college education. Let's pull up what it looks like if you decide to start a business in the skilled trades. Okay, skilled trades career path. Look at all that green, guys. And that's a great thing. just right off the bat looking at this, that's the great thing about starting a company in the skilled trades. You don't spend 4 years of your life going into debt and spending all this time where you're not making any money and you're not building any skills and you're not doing anything useful except reading textbooks. Apologies, but you can probably tell that I'm already fairly biased towards this skilled trades business owner careers path. All right, so in year 1, I'm saying that you're going to make $40,000 because basically you're going to get an apprenticeship or you're just going to go working for anybody in the skilled trades, $20 an hour. You're going to end up making $40,000, maybe even $50,000 over the course of that first year. And so I also am saying at the top there, you can see that you have 0 business revenue because this is really the only year where I'm recommending in the skilled trades that you just go and work for somebody else. Spend a year, learn a trade, learn how to become useful. You're young. You don't know what you're doing. You need to go work for somebody else. In year 2, I'm recommending that you start your own business and you basically start a sole proprietorship, which means that you are just in business for yourself. And let's say that first year you do $125,000 in sales. And of that $125,000, $70,000 of that you pay yourself. And the other $55,000 or whatever it is expenses, material expenses and gas and, truck payments and all these different things. Okay. At year 3, this is where you aren't a sole proprietor anymore. You have a couple years under your belt and you are now starting to build the fundamental framework of a small company. So in year 3, maybe you hire 1 more person on, or maybe you hire 2 more people on. And your business revenue, when you hire those people on, they start doing the work and they start doing the jobs, which frees you up a little bit to go and sell more work. So it makes sense that your business revenue would be $300,000. So you're up from $125,000 to $300,000. You got a couple guys working for you and you're paying yourself $90,000, which is roughly 30% of the total revenue on the business. Maybe your other 2 guys are making $40,000, $50,000. Okay. Whatever those numbers are, I think it's reasonable when you have a small organization like this and you're still the operator and you're still doing a lot of the work, you're probably paying yourself about $90,000. Okay. Now in year 4, you grow the business a little bit more, you add 1 or 2 more employees on. And at this point, you also have more overhead because you've probably got to hire more admin help and you've got to have somebody there to do more payroll. You're starting to run things a little bit more professionally. And so I'm assuming that you're going to make $480,000 in year 4, and you're going to pay yourself about 25% of that, which ends up being $120,000. And basically moving forward, you're going to pay yourself 25% of all of the sales going forward. Okay, moving on. So in year 5, you're going to make $600,000 in revenue. Okay, so you're bringing in $600,000 in revenue, you're paying yourself 25%. So you're taking home $150,000 in that year. Now, in year 6, this just incrementally goes up, okay? Incrementally goes up a little bit every single year. You increase your revenues every single year until year 8, when you've now been doing this skilled trade for 8 years. You've owned your own business for 7 years. You probably have a team of 5 to 8 guys, and your business should be doing $1 million in annual revenue. Okay. And if you're doing $1 million in annual revenue, you should be taking home roughly $250,000 just for yourself. And the rest, the other $750,000 goes to payroll, goes to labor, goes to materials. And this is not an unreasonable time horizon, guys. My sandblasting and painting business was doing $1 million after 24 months. Okay. I know if you watch some of my previous videos, I've got an electrician that was homeless, living under a bridge, and 3-4 years later, an electrician business where he had a couple guys working for him as electricians, and he was doing 1.1 million. So it doesn't take 8 years, but in this scenario, let's just assume you start a skilled trades business and you just inch it along, and 8 years later, the business is doing $1 million a year in revenue, and you are taking home $250,000. And so for the last couple years here, you're going to pay yourself $250,000. Okay. That's what a career in the skilled trades looks like in today's world. And there is not enough people in the skilled trades doing any of the skilled trades. Anybody with half a brain can get into the skilled trades, start to build a business, start to build a team, and within a few years, have that business doing $1 million a year in annual revenue. If you're ambitious, if you're intelligent, if you're willing to apply yourself and learn and follow a lot of the other videos that are on this channel on how to strategically scale that business, you can do it. You absolutely can do it. It is not out of the question that anybody can jump in and do this with their life if they want to. Now, just for the fun of it, let's go ahead and take a look let's put both career paths up on the same chart and track them side by side so that you can actually see the insane difference, truly, on if you choose a college career path versus the skilled trades. And let's go ahead and drop down to the college career path first and just take a look at those numbers. As you can see, that because you've been in debt and basically going backwards for the first 4 years, you just don't have the opportunity to make the same kind of income over a decade. So if you add up all of the income that a college career educated graduate can actually make, it comes to $380,000. I am being super generous in saying that maybe that person is able to save 20% of that $380,000, which I think is really, really pushing the limits. When you look at how much money they're going to owe in student loan debt and student loan payments, car payments, rent, food, just basic cost of living is basically probably going to drain their entire bank account, and they're not going to have the ability to save any money over that first 10 years. But let's just go ahead and be generous and just say that this person is super diligent. Maybe they live at home with their parents, or they just have some sort of a unique situation where they can save money. And so they've been able to, over a decade, save $76,000. Okay. Now they are in debt $120,000. They've probably started making payments. So maybe that $120,000 has come down a little bit, but they also have not built a business. So they do not have a business that's valued at anything. Okay. They just have their career and they have their annual salary. That's what they have. Okay. Looking at the skilled trades, the numbers show a very different story. And that's why I'm so passionate about the skilled trades, guys. This is not just a YouTube channel to try to make it big on YouTube. This is a YouTube channel because I see the impact in my own life in aligning with building companies in the skilled trades. And I've seen it change other people's lives. Look at this. Okay. If you add up all of this income, the person that starts a business in the skilled trades, scales it to $1 million in annual revenue and is able to monetize off of that, makes $1,625,000 over a 10-year period. They don't go into debt. And if they save 20% of that, which I don't think it's unreasonable to say when you're making that kind of money, to assume that you can save 20% of your income when you're making great money like this. And so the amount of savings that you could have after 10 years is $325,000. Now, one other detail that's very interesting about this is that the person in the skilled trades, they've built a business. They have something that's valuable to the community. They have something that monetizes and makes profit. And somebody will probably want to buy that. And most likely, if that business is doing $1 million a year in revenue, the business is probably worth somewhere around $1.5 million if that person that started that company in the skilled trades wants to sell it. So just putting the two side by side, hopefully this helps. If you're a younger person, even if you are an older person that's in a dead-end job and you're just sick of it, hopefully these charts have put an end to this idea that we have to go into higher education. Higher education, in my opinion, is looking more and more like a trap that's going to get you stuck working for somebody else, in debt, and unable to really build the life that you're really looking to build over time. That's all I've got for this video, guys. If you are interested in actually starting a business in the skilled trades, we have an incredible resource. It is very inexpensive. It's over on buildumuniversity.com, which is our resource website. And over there, there's a place called the Website Template Builder, and we can build you a very inexpensive website for your skilled trades. And we only specialize in skilled trades companies. And it's a relatively simple website, but you have 3 beautiful layouts to pick from. And we can build it for you over the course of 2 weeks, as long as you're willing to take the 10 or 15 minutes that are needed to fill out the form and give us the information that we need. And you can pick a skilled trades business and we can have you up and running in no time. Also, you should consider checking out our playlist on how to actually get started in the skilled trades. There's a bunch of videos in there that just breaks down all the things you need to think about if you're looking to get into the skilled trades and build a significant business there. Thank you guys so much for your time. I'll see you in the next one.